Okay, so let's start. You have it from us. Hey, Tong Hilchas Yontif, page test. Chose mamach Shiurim. All this was said mamach Shiurim oichal nefesh that you're not allowed to do on Yontif. If it was possible, if you're not a noinus, you could have done it before Yontif. Avo, he says, Maleches oichal nefesh atzman. Even though you could have done Erev Yontif, anything, you're allowed to do in Yontif. You could have cooked, you could have baked, you could have shechted, you're allowed to do it Yontif. On food itself, not. This is the Nekuda which the Rav works in the whole time. It's Medrabanim, no loss, no loss of taste. He forgot. So he forgot to do it Erev Yom Tov. So we don't have a practical case. My only brings down. They used to make a lokshin. They used to make sa'ar. Sa'ar, doing it before is just as good. Is better. The older sourdough is, the better it is. Now, you're not allowed to do Erev Yontif. That means anything that you do Erev Yontif that would have been just as good as Yontif, you're not allowed to do Yontif. But if you do it Yontif, you need a shini. You have to do with this tiny. It doesn't have to big shini. We're going to later. Just
like baking matzah. You need to do that with
but no, because baking matzah is fresh. Nothing is like fresh. But let's talk. They talk about making sa'ar, yeast. So they used to make from dough, not artificial sa'ar. And the Gemara says that's better the older it is. You don't know how to make it yontif. If you do, you have to make a shini. They talk about cheese that you make, fresh cheese, is better if it's a day old. If you want to make cheese from the milk, what you milk, you should have done it yesterday because that's better. So then we say, if you do it today, you have to make a shini. You follow? That's what we're saying. I don't think we have anything practical that way nowadays. Avo, mitte lushe, v'lefois, yelaro knead and bake, v'lishchoitin shecht, levashe, kedarke, b'chol, v'shi, m'use, achas, me'ili, be'erev, yonte, yesh, b'kach hepsid. Oich asodin tam. Doesn't taste so good. Nothing is like fresh. Bread that's made today is not as good as made yesterday. There's no, you know that. Nothing is like fresh bread. Nothing is like fresh, no matter how it is. Even chicken, nothing is fresh. I have a son-in-law who does the doggies, and he tells me the trick of doggies in the mountains. I don't know if you know about it. There's a restaurant called Doggies. You aware about that? No. That's my son-in-law. And what is this big trick? Everything is fresh. There's nothing. When the day anything's left over in the night, he doesn't serve it the next day. Because fresh is enormous. That's the trick. Rather lose a little bit of money, because there's no such thing you can make exactly, because nothing is like fresh. Food that's made today. I want to tell you something. I asked an expert chef once, and he told me that he doesn't cook fresh meat. He waits at 24 hours and a certain temperature in the fridge. That is going to be great. If you take the meat, that's what he told me. Take the meat, you just shecht it and you cook it. It's not going to be so tasty. You let it at a certain temperature. Today everything's scientifically figured out. Certain temperature in the fridge, not too cold, not too hot, no special. Then after many hours, then that's good.
And they didn't have fridges.
I know. I'm doing it again, but it's interesting. So he says, "V'kach mit al haver eish." You're not making fire. You're not make a new fire. Now this is an important chiddush. Later the Rabbi will talk about it. I don't need to make a fire Erev Yom Tov. I need to cook. So why don't you make it Erev Yom Tov? Because the fire, I don't need to cook. I need fire tomorrow. Okay? So why don't you just put on the... we're allowed to put on a fire from one fire to another fire. You want to turn your gas on, right? Let's say from one fire, you're allowed to turn it on. As long as you don't create new fire, that's Midrabanan. I explained this last week. It's Noilit. It's a Drabanan, you're not even Noilit. It's a Drabanan. So but later you'll see the Rav explains it, but the Ran explains that fire, the Chazal gave it like a din oichol nefesh. But they didn't, because otherwise you'd be stuck. So fire, you're allowed to make a yontiv. Say, well, you should have started the fire before yontiv. It's a big loss if you start before yontiv. Now see what we all. Aval oser levashel beyontiv dvor shein behefset. There's no loss. Nechsun tam yom vashim be'er beyontiv. Comparis hayavation. Shem toy v'yoisik nishmasim esmol. I don't know what that is exactly. Dried food. Chanuse liloish beyontiv shein b'shim kilkem tam imoin liloish be'er beyontiv. Lushet Ashkenaz veru zimmelin. Baratzein yelakshin. Okay, whatever this is, I have no idea. But the ones that are older, it's even tasted better. So that you're not allowed to do yontif, unless you do with the shini.
With the shini, you can do it.
The shini we could later learn, but the small shini, you don't need a big shini, a small shini. That I learn mamish tiny shinis, but I learn who explains it. It's a whole gemara. Now, why taka? Shini means, what's the right word in English? Shini. Not the normal way.
So you can make cheese on Yom Tov with
The sheni, correct. But I learned this.
Modification.
Modification is the right word. You can make cheese on Yom Tov, you make a small sheni. So he says, Ulami Asri Duvazeh. Now this is very interesting. This is the Lushan Rambam. Gzeire Shemi Yimnu Malasas Kol Meluch Oicha Nefesh Efshor Asois Merev Yom Tov V'nich Lasois B'Yom Tov. You leave everything for Yom Tov, he says. Shen Yoim Butel. It's a day of Nimtze Yontiv Kelahoilich Basi so Meluch is battle Masimchas Yontiv. You hear everybody say, Chazal did not want your wife to cook all Yontiv. Today they don't cook what they need. The basics, that's not a problem. Need after pachka, make this fancy thing, that fancy thing.
They enjoy it.
They enjoy it, also true, they enjoy it. But the Chazal did not want it. They didn't want that the woman should enjoy Yontiv. Today, Baruch Hashem can pay before, but Chazal did not want you to do something you could do Erev Yom Tov, be just as good, but didn't want you to be busy, the whole Yom Tov cooking. Because Simchas Yom Tov is a chiyuv. People don't realize this. Simchas Yom Tov is a chiyuv. The many Achronim learn from this halacha. We can learn, if we get to it, there's a chiyuv Simchas Yom Tov. And the Gemara says, a woman, you should buy them clothing. A man, ein simcha b'busa v'yayin. If you don't have busa v'yayin, there's a chiyuv to be simcha anyways. But the darshan, to get yourself in a good mood, eat meat and drink wine. But there's a chiyuv, because the Rambam learns, many of the Rabbanim, the Chazal asked Yom Tov, was only, I don't want you to be preoccupied with food all day long, I want you to be happy. Simchas Yom Tov. Very interesting.
But we're in Chutzlar, so you have to, it's like you can't get around it for the second day. So.
We do. Baruch Hashem, we have freezers, and I don't think your wife cooks all day.
It's a little bit, it's not
It's not as bad. Okay. Because the Rambam Shitta is, Chalamoid is also Malocha, is also Midrabanim. Do you know why? You should have Simchas Yom Tov. That's what the Rambam's opinion is. Not like all the Rishonim. The Rambam's opinion is that there's a Chiv Simcha Chalamoid. Chazal allowed you some, and also the others. They wanted you to have Simchas Yom Tov. So why do you mean Simchas Yom Tov? Ain't Simcha Lebusa V'yayin. Mamonov Shech. No. There's a din Simcha generally. After the Simcha. Simcha is a tough job to be. Try it out. Without mashka. Without mashka. Real happiness. Okay.
So this is on the side. This is always something that bothers me during Kol Hamoed, is you're not supposed to do laundry. But it's really no different to do laundry in a laundry machine. That's not like,
once the Chazal asked, but the Chazal, there was another reason laundry is also. They didn't want you to come into Yontif, Kishim, and Menuvel, not have clean clothing. If I could take care of Yontif, I'll wash my laundry on Yontif. They didn't want you. They said, do not wash laundry, so you make sure you can have the laundry done before.
Is it better to just go out to the store and buy
new
underwear than to...
Yes, exactly. It's better to buy new ones than to wash, yes. And you can't even tell a shiksa to put on the laundry machine. People are very mezalzel, but Chalamoid, if we get to it once, we'll learn it, is people like shiksa, you're not allowed to wash laundry, you can't have the shiksa wash laundry, you rather buy. Unless it's for young children who make everything dirty all the time. That's a question how old the child should be.
Oh, man, you can't do laundry at all?
Not at all.
Rabbi makes it a point to say that at least once every 3 months.
It's one of the people do laundry all the time.
Even if it's for Chol
Even if it's Chol Hamoed Yom Tov.
If you made those of the routine,
No, you have to stop it. The Alter Rebbe, the Shulchan Aruch has, he is mishunadig machma the Shulchan Aruch. The Mishibur not so much. The Shulchan Aruch is mishunadig machma. You have to stop him. You're not allowed to give the cleaners on Yom Chol Hamoed.
Even if your white shirt for Yom Tov?
Yeah.
if you go out and buy
So you did enough shirts before Yom Tov?
She buy.
Can I pick up clothing from the cleaners at home?
You could pick up. Yes.
I can't drop off.
Can't drop off.
Even if
I
it's
know
after-
this is a. What do you say?
If I'm picking up after Yom Tov.
Yeah, you can't. That's Chamara sign. The Gemara says.
Wait, so if I drop off my clothing at the laundry, at the dry cleaners on Erev Yom Tov, I can pick it up and call it?
If there's enough time to do before Yom Tov,
Oh,
yes, thank you. Same Shabbos. But this is very important. I say it in my shul every year. To every Yom Tov I mention this.
Very difficult.
It's a very difficult. We're very spoiled. And in my neighborhood, everyone has a shiksa. And they think, well, the shiksa does, like you just said, like what you do, he just said, I have to stop the shiksa. This is every week, every Yom Tov. I mean, my shiksa does the routine. And Okay. Hopefully we'll learn at Hilchos Chol Hamoed. I'll show you.
But what if, you have chicks every day, she has responsibilities, you don't have to think about it, you don't order her to do anything particularly, and she happens to wash the clothes.
According to the Shulchan Aruch, there's no heter. The Mishmur holds such oifen there's a heter. Shulchan Aruch says it's your possession, you're doing it with your things, you have to stop her. Others of Chachamim disagree with that.
Unless she's like living and she's doing her own laundry.
Right, I don't for sure. But
What's the reason for it?
because you have to stop them to do your malacha, to doing it for you, you have to stop them. You cannot do it, you have to stop a guy doing it.
No, in general, why we can't clean clothing on Chol Hamoed.
Chazal said the main reason the Gemara says is you shouldn't come into Yom Tov without clean clothing. I watched this. Chazal said the same thing about a haircut. I mamish saw that more than once. And I once noticed a guy didn't take care of shave. You guys don't shave, but he didn't shave. I walk into Yom Tov. Why didn't you? I didn't have time. I'll shave Chol Hamoed. You're not allowed to shave Chol Hamoed. I told him. This was Pesach. I was like amazed. What happened? My wife really needed my help. I was, what's wrong? I can't shave Chol Hamoed. I said, that's exactly what the Chazal said. They didn't want you to shave Chol Hamoed. So if you knew you couldn't shave Chol Hamoed, you were going to take care of Erev Yom Tov. So that's why the Moshe says that there's no heter, that many often people think that I'm making laundry for the small children. So why don't I just throw in the adult things? It's the same button. The Moshe says, what do you say?
like we say, we talk about
It's not betach. It's a little different than betach. It's one button. So he says when the Chazal asked Kunis Geshimenuvel didn't want your clothing to be washed, even anyway. So Moshe is, and most of I didn't see anyone make it because people every.
People don't have enough clothing for 8 days.
So they're by. That's past Tzus Yom Tov. Big deal. That's not so.
Especially when I go to New York, I'm not bringing all my clothing with me.
Now you are.
Now I am. Until now I haven't.
Wait, does the same apply for like before Shabbos? If you're bringing your containers right before Shabbos and clean it on Shabbos?
If there's time to clean it before Shabbos, let's say you bring it an hour before, they could clean it right now. It doesn't take an hour to clean. But if you bring it right before the close, you can't say I'll pick it up on Shabbos and there's no time
I
to.
brought my phone to be fixed on Friday afternoon, and the guy was a Jewish guy, and he said, if you want, I will work on it on Shabbos. But there was definitely enough time before Shabbos.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say, is that not my...
Well, it's not your chayis. Again, if he's a Jewish guy, it's good that he said he's not going to work on Shabbos. That's chus for you. But
he's going on someone else's.
oh, no, yeah. But once there's time to fix it before, that's no problem.
What else can't be done on Chol Hamoed?
Chol Hamoed, what's the most common thing? Most common thing is working also. Cannot go to work. It depends what work people do. It all depends. What's the most common thing is people is laundries they do all the time, and just blame it on the rabbi. When people tell me Shalom Bayis, they say the rabbi said. I have a woman called me up. Don't worry. Is it true you said it? Yes, it's true. I had someone who told me his wife was going to call you. Yes, let her call me. That's what else? Chalamoid quickly. People do. You can have a guy fix your car, mechanic fix your car. That's one of the things that I'll give it in. Have Chalamoid, he'll fix it for me. If your car breaks down, rather rent a car than have a guy fix it.
You can't check your tefillin, you can't write.
You can't write for no reason. You can write a check, but you can't just start writing. Typing on the computer, it's hard to say it's us, but you just can't write. Only you do it. Traveling, you're allowed to travel, yeah. You're allowed to travel.
Exercise?
Exercise you're allowed to do. It's only exercise you're allowed to jog. And I don't know what else do people do. Shopping. Believe it or not, you're not allowed to do shopping. Every Chalamoid, people call me, there's a sale. Amazing. Only Chalamoid, there's a sale. There's a din.
You said if I needed underwear, I could go out and buy it.
If it's no, you only go shop, yes, because you need it. You're allowed to shop, l'tzorich hamoyed. I'm allowed to buy things I'm using Yom Tov. But if I'm not going to use it, women love to go shopping. So all of a sudden, they know you're allowed to go shopping. If they say you're allowed to, they always call me, there's a sale. It's amazing, I said, the sale happens on It's not. They want to go shopping. They're not allowed to go shopping, but there's a sale. They want to go shopping. You know, that's the outing for girls and women. Go shopping.
When you say shopping, what it's
For a dress, but you're not going to wear Yom Tov.
something that you're not going to use. So food, you obviously can go shopping.
For use for Yom Tov, right?
But so when you say shopping, what's the reason for it?
Chazal said because it's frustrating and it's Menei Simchas Yom Tov, the Gemara says. They don't
You're
want.
doing it online.
Doesn't make a difference.
It's the that's what I was trying to ask.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. Once you bought it online, that's you click it, it's bought. You're not allowed to do it.
It's not going to be delivered till after Yom Tov.
That's a separate issue, but it's bought. Legally, once you sign it, it's
Can you sign contracts?
you're not allowed to write unless it's a dover of it, unless it's even far fetched. But it might be a dover that you're not allowed to. Shidduchim you're allowed to. Dover of it. Shem yikab mene acha. What? I didn't hear what you said. If she wears it on Yom Tov, it's okay. In the Yom Tov, it's okay. She wears it on Yom Tov, it's okay. So it's not so terrible, the malachos. It's just a hand. We don't do many of the malachos what they did, but you can. One time a teacher called me up that she wants to prepare for the classroom, and decorating the classroom. There was sickness, and she has to cut out. And you're not allowed to do that, Yom Tov. Can't give the young children to cut out and decorate, or go painting. Painting. If the children are finger painting, they're very young. You can let them, but once a child is a Elchonon, you can't let them paint.
How about cleaning the house?
Cleaning is okay. That's okay, cleaning.
Because it's for Yom Tov.
It's for Yom Tov.
Wait, so the biggest thing on Yom Tov is New York and LA is to go to amusement parks.
That's enjoyable. That you're enjoying right now.
Parents, I don't think so.
So you said paint, but you can't paint.
Paint. Amusement parks is painting.
I'm saying you can't paint the house, you mean like finger painting?
Finger painting.
That's amusement.
That's a big difference. You're allowed to buy something that I'll enjoy right now. Allowed to buy a shirt I'll wear. Allowed to buy, but I can't paint. That is can't.
Because making a paint.
Yeah, but doesn't.
No one's ever going to use that. Number one. It's very good.
But we don't say everything you enjoy Yom Tov you're allowed to do. Chalamoid.
You can't buy treif.
No, so we can't go cut the wheat.
I can't see the distinction between painting or
By
or
buying.
shop or going to amusement park.
And I'm saying buying something, paying for the amusement park is by buying. We say if you enjoy right now, it's okay. I cannot paint the house if I'm going to enjoy Yom Tov. I want to paint the train. We'll be done for Yom Tov. The last day is Yom Tov. You need to repaint the whole room. I'm not sure like that, right? You can't do that. Even though I will enjoy Yom Tov. Not only by buying, which is not a malach, it's only the Rabbanan. Chazal said if it's not Simchas Yom Tov, you're not allowed to. Follow? Has to be Simchas Yom Tov.
As far as work, what kind of work could be done on Halloween?
So that's a huge machlokes. It depends what work people do. Like a lawyer works and he writes and he types, he shouldn't do. What happens? A lady asked me, this Chalamoid, she's a therapist.
Going into work and staying at home.
But someone asked me about being a therapist. A lady asked me, does she allowed to see patients? She says, a Jewish patient, I says, not a problem, you're helping them. But she says, no, I have Goyish patients, and so that's Goyish patients. I said, that's a big machlokes, because you do nothing, just listening. You know what I mean? So that is not...
It's a weight you have to deal with.
It's a weight you have to deal with?
It's a weight, like stress.
Well, the ones who do it a long time, I don't think they're so stressed about it. Young people are very stressed about it. I speak to therapists over years. I asked the guy, because I get sick and tired of hearing tzaras. Says, if you do it for panasa, you don't have to take it personally. So I sometimes, when I hear tzaras, so part of a guy told me, part of his training is how not to internalize it, so not to take it personally. Yeah, if it's very stressful, if you're saying if it's very stressful, then you're not allowed to. And it takes away the simcha. Okay, let's move on. Now, mezeh hatam. Now, this is a very important rav. All the chronim quote this Shulchan Aruch Rav, the ches. Mezeh hatam leomri yatzura, by carrying apishu efshel asoysim erev Yom Tov. Now, carrying, well, let's say you could have done an erev Yom Tov. It would have been just as good. Let's say you need something. You could have run over to your neighbor's house and bring it. I need a chair, right? You could have ran over, take the siddur, or the chair. That would be just as good erev Yom Tov. He said food, it's something be just as good erev Yom Tov. You're not able to cook. So why carrying is different? So the Rav says a very famous is his explanation. It's quoted from the Rambam, the way he learns Pshat in the Rambam. Carrying makes happiness a Yom Tov. You carry and bring whatever he wants. If you cannot carry Yom Tov, your hands are tied.
Is that the same part about Aish?
Aish is also almost the same word. This is you young people know this, that if you don't rely on the Erev, it's mamish. You're like in house arrest. I hear this from a woman.
The articles about people who feel that they're in jail on Shabbos, they can't go anywhere.
Well, I hear this from women, a lot of women. I hear this from a lot of Babachu women complain to me. You know, I mean, I say, I know when the Babachu calls me, don't ask me, please don't ask me. I just had this making a simcha, I don't want to say which family, and they called me up, and they're making a big Shabbos Sheva Baruch. Says, what are you asking me? You never asked me Shalos, you called me Challah for this Chamadim. But Akaponim, it's very difficult, right? You have a baby, young baby. Mitzvah. You see that people are stuck with the babies at home. The woman cannot leave the house. It's very, very, very difficult. Extremely difficult.
This is proof that you should use later.
Yeah, I don't. It's not me saying you said it. Yes, it really is. It's no question about it. I'm Osam Ahmed, but I see when my children come, they want to say the I told them you could use the Erev. The Erev is a good Erev. But the bottom line is, it is incredibly difficult for women, especially when you have more than one child. Especially if you don't have a good backyard. Yeah, right. It's very, very difficult. One of the Babacha lady tell me, especially when everyone in my neighborhood, when everyone carries with the Erev. I'm the only one on the block not to carry with the Erev. I mean, Okay.
Oh, just one other thing on the Erev. Like, if I if I'm using the Erev and I'm bringing like a bottle of wine or something to somebody who doesn't use the Erev, is it usher for them to use it? Or
No, this question.
Talk more about it?
No, let me repeat this question. You hear? Yeah, I want to get to hear this. This question, so many Lubavitcher asked me this, what you just asked. Yeah. I don't use the Erev, but I got a guest over, brought a bottle of wine, expensive bottle of wine, can we drink it? Or can I ask my neighbor who uses the Erev to bring something? I said, for sure. Because you guys, it's not that If the Shulchan Aruch would have said it, and it said the rice, Shulchan Aruch is one of the Chroin hold you can make a native. For the record. Shulchan Aruch is the one. The Lubavitcher Rebbe didn't want you should make a native because says people get used to it and then carry. But Halacha, the Ari Shoinim held you can't make a native. The Shulchan Aruch held you could make a native. He's from the big Makinim about it, and this is quoted. So Mamela, I'm allowed to be machma. I don't carry in the native, but I've asked my daughter to bring things over for me. She carries in the native. There's nothing wrong. You understand? You follow what I just said?
You can be machmir, but you should never push somebody else to be machmir.
No, I asked them. Not only machmir, I even asked them. I asked my daughter to bring over wine. She had a daughter. Whatever. Tastes. If you have a neighbor, you have a wine, you need something, you could ask, even though you're not relying on the native. Or but he was asking, you have a guest. He brought a good bottle of wine, but a bekigel, whatever he brought. You're allowed to use it, without a question.
Because like I've heard, like certain times people having guests over, they say, we don't use the Arab. Please don't bring anything over.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah.
That is wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah, people bring flowers over. And what do you do with flowers?
Well, they bought it on Shabbos. That's a serious problem. That's it. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the from guy.
They give it to you and they expect you to put it in water.
That's a separate issue. That has nothing to do with native. That is even with a native is a problem. That's a separate issue. A guy told me, guy comes in for the Seder and he brings a bottle of a whiskey.
I had that happen to me.
I have a few people who told me.
I didn't know if it was.
Yeah, but this was real comments, wasn't. I'm sure they had this issue, man.
So hold on, Rabbi, would you say it's fanatic to, like, my shver who's very old he is, very big Lubavitcher too, but he doesn't, in Australia, he doesn't want his daughter, who just had a baby, coming over on a Friday night if she's going to use the Arab. Is that a shikol fanatic?
And she uses the native anyways.
Yeah. She wants to use the Arab. And he's like, don't eat in my house.
I don't want to say, I don't want to cause Tirshon bias over there. I plead the fifth. It is fanatic. It doesn't make sense. If she anyways uses the native. Anyway, it's not, this is what I try to explain to the Lubavitchers. It's not that the Shulchan Aruch, if the Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to use the native, there's such a Gemara. If I hold it also, he didn't want to eat it. He want to talk about boider, like Mama didn't want to, because he held you're not allowed to, and the guy did it for him, he didn't want to eat it. Here, the Rav is from the big makilim you can make a native. So the native is according to Shulchan Aruch, a good native. The Lubavitcher Rebbe didn't want you people use a native because you come carrying when there's no native. So that is not halacha. That's an anhoga. What do you say? Whatever. Yeah, but that's not a halacha. You understand? That's a whole different. That's just a anhoga. You know what I mean? That's like.
Saying you can't come to my house without a cup.
Yeah, right. No, that's a good marshal. You know, or you can't come without a beard. Right? That doesn't. You can't say that. You know. It's okay. Now, let me just quickly say, there's a huge machlokes in the Rishonim. Why I cannot go plug fruit from the tree? Why not? It's Eichel Nefesh. I want to have a basket full of blueberries. Why can I go out in Yom Tov and collect it? If I'm allowed to cook, bake, shecht, make a fire, from old fire, because Eichel Nefesh, I love fresh blueberries. Fresh tomatoes. Nothing is good as fresh. What?
To pick it off the tree?
Yeah, pick it off the tree. Mamish. It's a malocha, but it's oichel nefesh. And it's clear, a fruit that you took off from the tree fresh is better than the stood there. So that's a big machlokes. It's very interesting that the Shulchan Aruch is so similar like the Rambam Shitta, that's only the Rabbanan. The Rashba hold is a drais, I'll explain it afterwards. But that doing these maluchas, taking fruit over trees at the rice, I'll soon explain you why. But the Rav works with the Rambam in Torah, you're allowed to cut, you're allowed to thresh, you're allowed to do everything. Anything to do with food, you're allowed to. It's only the Rabbanan. Why, says the Rav? Because most often these maluchas we don't do just for today. We do it for the long run. No one goes out and cuts the wheat from the field, just serve a little bit bread. You cut, even taking fruit off the tree, most often you don't just stand there, take one apple. Once you start, you do normally vlad. Since normally that's always done, the Chazal said it's awesome. With the Rabbanon. And why? Because the Rabbanon did not want you to be busy entire Yom Tov working. Same with the Rav said before. If you allowed to take fruit off the tree, a whole Yom Tov are busy taking fruit off the tree. Yimanei Simchas Yom Tov.
The shechting a cow undoubtedly is going to last too much longer.
Yeah, but that's.
I'm saying that's a tircha, the whole process of shechting and then taking it apart and cutting it out.
Yep, but I don't see what you're saying. Shecht is not because it's lasting. It's not the lasting, it's fresh, it's better.
Yeah, but the whole cow is not going to last longer.
Oh, they never, no. B'mei Chazal, they never shechted unless you had everyone, they didn't have fridge. The Gemara says, Masech Teschon, the Shoichet never, the whole Chishimish, but the Shoichet would never start shechting unless you had all the people ready to divide the animal.
You can still dry it out. You're not allowed to do that.
Dry what out?
Dry out the meat. You can dry it out.
If you because usually if it was no choice, that's what you did. But usually no one shechted it because they didn't have fridge. It didn't last long. You remember meat without fridge doesn't last long. They didn't have freezers. So the Gemara says clearly when a person shechted an animal, a few Gemaras of Shas, he gathered everyone. You're going to get this. You're going to get, and then he shechted it. Understand? But here, if the Rav Paskins like the Rambam, you're allowed to take the food. Let's see inside. See the words? We didn't want you to move out the Simchas Yom Tov. So for that reaon, to cut. Hadisha is threshing. The Immer is collecting the fruit from the ground. Vazriya is winnowing. Ibreiris minetviya to be boirer. You know what I mean? Shederech luveroisem harbe yachad. The derech is to make him a lot together. Vatchina. And to grind. When you grind, you don't just grind a little bit. You know, you grind already, you do a lot. Varakuda, sifting, she told us Aktsira, taking off fruit from a tree. The schita spade is squeezing fruit. She told the disha, squeezing apples and squeezing lemons or grapes or olives is a told the dash. So Al kol maluch ile to the same chodu ranesa b'shvil on b'Shabbos mid v'sofrim shem rus maluch atzma usigam b'yom. This is a chiddush. Let me explain what he's saying. You know, Shabbos, you're not allowed to squeeze grapes. It's a deraisa. So the Gemara says, what happens? You have a cluster of grapes and the juice oozed out by itself. You're not allowed to drink it. If I'm going to drink it, I might come squeeze it. So the Rav says that the Rambam shit is this way, that even though squeezing menato, you're not allowed to squeeze grapes. But it's still, if you have grapes and the juice oozed out of it, you're not allowed to drink the juice. Maybe you come squeezing, even though squeezing is only a drabanan. You hear the chiddush. So the Rambam held because this kilechud exera. Whatever's also Shabbos, the acid Yom Tov. Filal de shini, you're not allowed to do it. There was no time to do it before Yom Tov. You do it for many days. You never squeeze grapes. Today we live in a new world. The juice.
For salad dressing, you can't squeeze the lemon?
Well, into that you could because you put it onto the salad. He peats everything. The Rav learns all this is only with the Rabbanan because then you're not going to have Simchas Yom Tov. See how? Yeah, it's an Esa Draisa. Chazal asked all this. The Rambam Shitta is that it's so important Simchas Yom Tov. We didn't want you to be busy working.
So there's so much against things that we can't do. So we have Simcha. What if we don't have Simcha? Can we do some other things?
We see Simcha. How you say in English? This is objective or subjective. How do you say it in English? You know, you really could be happy if you want to. But if you're very busy, you're not going to take time to be happy. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be busy morning, then you need time to be happy. Let's face it, Yom Tov, you sit, you don't have worries, you sit and you schmooze, you become in a better mood.
If someone's going to be stressed out if they can't do it.
But Chazal didn't make it like plague. He's going to be stressed, and then it's going to be hefker. You know what that means? Then everyone's going to. So the Rambam Shitta is, I must tell you. The Rambam Shitta is differently. The Rambam Shitta, the Rashba Shitta is, these malachas are awesome in our Torah. Since these malachas are never done a little bit, So all these malachas is also Torah. That's what the Rashba should do.
Squeezing grapes on Shabbos is a day, right?
Right.
So where does it come to the, why would it be a rabbanon for like?
The juice comes out by itself. You have a cluster of grapes and it oozed out.
The Rashba says the juice coming out by itself, that itself.
The Rambam learned that squeezing grapes is only the Rabbanon. But the Rambam is bad, not only all the Rishonim ask, so why if the juice comes out by itself is the Rabbanon? Isn't like a Gzeira l'Gzeira? So the Rambam says, since whatever Shabbos is Asa, we Asad Yom Tov across the board. The Rashba learned for this reason that squeezing grapes on Yom Tov is not the Raisa. Are you doing it to eat right now? The Torah only allowed you things that you do a little bit. Things that you do en mass, the Torah never allowed you. That's how the Rashba learns. But the Rav doesn't bring it down. So the Kitzur, he holds that all this is a Rabbanon. How strict the Rabbanon was, that even more. If an apple fell off the tree, you're not allowed to eat it, Yom Tov. I'm allowed to to take the apple off the tree. The apple fell off the tree. You have a lemon? Anyone has a lemon tree in the backyard? Hey, you know that there was a bunch of lemons on the floor. You know that this lemon fell off today. Well, I was like, I'm allowed to do it. I didn't plan it. It just fell off. Sorry, you cannot take it.
What if you don't know could have fell there Yom Tov?
It's awesome, but the Rabbanon even a suffix.
And if you know, that's from your Shabbos.
Then it's no problem. If you know, then it's okay.
So can you squeeze lemon over salad?
Yes, on Shabbos too. Me'ikar adin, you're not allowed to squeeze lemon over salad on Yom Tov. Me'ikar adin on Shabbos too. It's only chumra not to.
It's a single one.
Because the food that comes into food has it in food.
We can't put it through a sieve, catch the pits.
No, you can't do that. The sieve you can just squeeze the lemon. Okay.
You squeeze the grape straight into the salad?
That's yes, me'ikar adin. Yes, that's a good question. Me'ikar adin, you can squeeze grapes onto the salad. The Shiurim says I don't know how. Shiurim says a Yerushalayim should be machmer. I think the Rabbi also brings it down Hilchos Yom Shabbos that way. But me'ikar adin, it's okay.
So hold on, the reason you're not allowed to squeeze grapes on Yom Tov, is that because you usually do it in mass?
Right.
Or is it because you
Now, because you make it a mass. Nope, you make it a mass. So. What did you say? No, not lemon, grapes. Onto grapes. What were we up to? Yeah. So what did you just ask again? Grapes, again, anything that you do in big mass, Chazal did not want you to do. Even you are not doing it. You're just taking a little bit of grapes and doing it for yourself now.
And between me and you, lemons goes into that category officially?
The lemon goes also because they make it in masses. And I say, make group a lot. You don't skim. The guy who's
Even though today's day and age, you don't get it.
you, but the people that make lemon juice do in the masses. You have a private tree in the backyard. You don't take it when you need it, but generally it's not done that way. Most of the lemons that sold are and the great lemon juice are the lot. Now, v'chein osri hatzeder. Why can't I? Chalamoid. Let me just tell you another thing. If you go fishing, it's only if you're going to eat it. Many people go fishing just for the kick of it. They don't plan to eat it. Someone asked me, they go.
The activity of fishing and catching and throwing back,
Yeah, you know how to do chalamoid. If you fish and you plan to eat it, great.
People go for relaxation and joy.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to do a malacha. Like you can't. There's not everything. That's what I'm trying to say. Buying, entertainment, you're allowed to buy, but I can't paint this room. I'm going to use it, and I'll be gewaldig for chalamoid. I can't go fishing doing a malacha that it's just relaxing, but I throw right back. But if you plan to if you catch a kosher fish, you plan to bring it home, then it's okay. And eat it in Yom Tov, it's okay. What do you say? I'm talking chalamoid. On Yom Tov you can. Yom Tov you're not allowed to go fishing. We'll soon see now why. Why can't you go fish Yom Tov? So the Rav says a very interesting chiddush. This is his chiddush, and the Chorim quote him. He says, when you go fishing, you never go fishing for today. You know that. You know that. You know why? Because how do you know you're going to catch something? You got to pay supper. Imagine you tell your wife, I'm going fishing, and just wait till I come home with the fish. How do I know you'll find, maybe you find some catfish and some swordfish. I don't know what you're going to catch. So people, when they go fishing, it's always for the next day. That's what the Rav says. Most often you go fishing, you don't do it for today. While if you not to make food, at she eats it till he catches. Any day, how do you know you're going to catch something? No one, your wife is going to say, you know what, I'm not making supper. You're going to come with I'm making supper. And if you catch a fish, it'll be tomorrow's little supper. He says, why can't I milk an animal? I want to use the milk. No one milks just for today. You milk the cows, you milk it from any. Now this is such a.
According to that, you can't go fishing.
On Chalamoid,
On Chalamoid, you might not catch it.
you know, you're allowed to. Chalamoid is not a problem. Yom Tov is a problem.
Oh, it's not compensated for tomorrow.
Yeah, Yom Tov is the problem. Yom Tov, I'm going fishing today. You're not doing it for today. Chalamoid, I'm allowed to do it for tomorrow. So you're allowed to go out fishing if you plan to eat the fish. Anyone goes fishing here? My neighborhood people go fishing here. It's a mishigas. Ain't know why it's a mishigas, because they throw it back.
But that's the sport. That's the
Mishigas. It says what? To bring home a fish if you catch a good fish. It's a kosher fish. Okay. Avalatiri. Someone just
Practically speaking, if you own a cow, you have to milk it every day.
says you have to have a guy do it. That chazal mamater sabalachaim. We get to learn it. Because if you don't do it, the animal. You're not allowed to use the milk on Yom Tov. That's because it's a terrible tsar. That's what we later in a whole seminar about how to do milk. Because the animal is in terrible pain.
Well, and trapping an animal on Yom Tov.
We're talking about Seder.
I'm saying, so if for an actual animal, is it different than a fish?
No. You can't go hunting for anything because you're going to say, I'm going hunting for a deer. You tell your wife, my dear wife, I'm going hunting for a deer. And I'm not relying on your deer. You know what I mean?
So Halacha Srs is never milked on Shabbos?
Never.
Yom Tov also?
No, they have to go. Yom Tov, I mean, anyways, Halacha Srs has nothing to do with milking, but you have to milk the cows because the cows is in terrible pain. You use it afterwards. There's a mashgiach there. Watches the goy milk. Today the machines do it. It's not even a goy anymore.
Listen, but you can't. There's mashgichim working on Shabbos to observe the milking.
24/7.
The Mahadrim used to do half called Yisrael, half Kolak. So whenever they have Kolak.
Not anymore. Today, all the milk in New York is the same farmer.
See, all the different companies is all the
Same. They finally became smart. It was ridiculous. It was too. And got the one farmer who does it for them, for all of them. So you think you're buying this milk, best, better, the same mashgiach, the same. I don't want to say on the same. Now they came same shlemazel there. Who's going to be on a farm 7 days a week? I met the guy who was on the farm. I mean, I wouldn't trust him with $10. I mean, just, but you don't need better than that. You know.
I remember when I was in Bacha, they offered $100,000 for New Zealand for a year. I would be mashgiach for cows.
Why, to bring milk from there? From where?
In New Zealand. They're milking cows in New Zealand.
For whom?
I guess the Australian community.
Well, in Australia they don't have. Doesn't make
They
sense.
don't have the much milk that we do. They have a lot of sheep. They don't have that many cows.
Mm-hmm. All right. But 100,000 New Zealand money?
So what do they do with the milk? Like you can sell it to a goy?
Yeah, no, you can sell it even to a Yid if a guy watches it. A Yid watches it.
Oh, okay.
But this was a big problem when Yidden came to Eretz Yisrael. The Chazon Ish wrote a whole thing, how to help the farmers, because you cannot milk and you have to have a goy milk. So it's a deraisa and how to do it. And I remember that today, live in a new world. You know what I mean? They want to be matter. I mentioned here once. They want to be matter with the CCTV, and I think they should.
What's the
Machlokes
problem?
in Rabbanim in Israel and here?
I don't know. I think they should.
Is there any progress on that? You mentioned
I don't
it
know.
years ago.
Yes, and I say I don't know what's the problem. The only thing you have to check the kelim. There's a ways. Ayid gets a chanaitz. You have to make sure the kelim are clean. That makes it a little difficult, but there's a way to do it too.
Mobile camera.
Yeah, well, they do have such a thing. They do have such a thing.
Are we gonna work it out?
But they say the cameras are better because you always can rewind and see what happened.
You see it right now live. Guy sitting at my mechitten is a mashgiach, runs in Chicago, and he told me one day he calls the mashgiach of the restaurant. Where are you? You're not in the store. I'm sitting there. Not in the store. Oh, I'm sorry. I was smoking a cigarette outside.
So that goes to show that someone's presence there is going to be different. If the guy sees a mashgiach standing there, he's going to act different.
No, the guy knows him looking. You don't know.
Practically speaking, you know your boss is in the office next door. You can make some trouble. You know there's a camera up there. You don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah, of course you're nervous. Yeah, man. You don't need more than that. And it would save a lot of money. The rabbi was saying in Brazil, it's a 4 or 5 hour drive, and it have a lot of problems. A lot of problems because it's very, very far the farm. He was saying. This is one day. Don't worry, it takes time. New things takes time.
So if a guy doesn't love you can get from that, it's just you're not letting.
Depends what.
Like sushi. Sushi's fresh fish. They caught it that point. Let's just presume.
No, you can't use it. In Yom Tov, you can't use it. You see later. The goy caught fish. Fish was caught by a goy, you're not allowed to use on Yom Tov.
He's catching tons of tuna.
So if he didn't catch for you, why did he bring it to you?
Then there's a fish market downtown. Every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, the restaurants, they go there, they buy their fish.
So who delivered for the on Yom Tov for the sushi guy?
You can drive there, pick it up.
Yom Tov.
Or he has his guide here.
If you ask a goy to bring it up, it's very hard to say it's asa. I don't want to say it's mutter. I don't want to be quoted. The rabbi said it's okay. Because what's wrong with driving exactly? Making a fire. Making a fire is only the rabbanon. Because driving is making a fire. You're making a new fire. That's only the rabbanon. So you tell the guy to bring sushi. The sushi was not caught for the Jews. The guy catches the sushi.
Then there's a guy who's buying the fish. Then he's bringing it to
Yes, bring it to then I would say pi alocha, you can't say it's asa. If a guy has a kiddush, he wants fresh sushi, I'm going to be quoted. Don't worry. People, I know already this.
The Halacha writes that raw fish is not served.
Yeah, but not any days because no one ate raw fish. That's changed. But there are still fish. I was told. I asked a guy who does. There are fish that you cannot make sushi out of it. Right. I forgot what you told me the name.
Those fish, they have to be extremely fresh or flash frozen. They flash freeze it before they provide it to the stores.
Yeah. So, but it's only certain, not all fish. But salmon is tuna. So, what I screams, I tell people, make such a fuss about the tuna. You pay $1 more if you don't buy OU tuna. You know that, but the tuna is nechel chai nowadays. They make sushi out of it. So the OU tuna is not a problem. But one of the things they used to scream, there's no bishalakam with tuna because it's not oil shulchan malachim the way they do it. That's a separate issue. But even if you disagree with that, okay, all right. So let's move on.
The ones that sacrificially
Yeah. Someone needed panusa.
The tuna doesn't need a hefty more than
Doesn't need more than OU. One of the tumas they made, the other tumas, one of the big tumas they made is that what's his name? That it's they steam it. But besides that, it's not a problem because you never serve tuna cans. If you're making a meal, a choshev, a meal, you'll never serve for anyone tuna patties. For your wife serves it for you, but if some choshev a guest, she doesn't serve it. The kosher potato chip is also not bishul akev because it's not oil shulchan malachim. Someone told me over here when we learned it that there was one Rav in Crown Heights who makes a big fuss about it. I forgot who it was, but rice potato chip is not a problem of bishul.
Neither is Lay's.
The Lay's doesn't make a difference. Lay's.
pretzels.
Pretzels is a different thing. That according to Chabad, you're very machmer on pas palta. So pretzels.
The Rosh doesn't agree. Someone said the Rosh doesn't agree with that. He says it's not pas. You said according to Shulchan Aruch,
It is pas. The Siddur Rav says pretzels is pas. He says it very plainly. That's a separate issue, washing, but everyone agrees pretzels is a mazonis and it's a bread. The question is, If it's like one of these very dry things, if you have to wash and eat kvi suda, that's a separate issue. But everyone agrees that it's like a cookie. Cookie applies bishul pas. So if you have pretzels, you need to make sure it is so you can't buy OU pretzels. Now, people have asked me this already. If there's no other pretzels, then if you appeal ikaluch allowed to, but Chabad is very machma. It's pasakim, right?
Just like fine bread, that's what we do.
Right? You don't socialize with them, correct? So that's why paspal to make it a din is mutter. It's only a chumrah. That's only by pas, not by bishul. Okay, let's move on. So this explains tzeder. Avetira, you see the top line. Page Yudal. Avetira schikis hamelech, crushing salt, the tavlin. And Yom Tov, to use this crushing tavlin, Hebreis mi kelefishein der chasois harbe yachad tzurich yom haben. Emash yitzurich mem leboy beyoyim bavad. You don't even that day itself. Shekol she'efshar hasois merev Yom Tov usay beyond kimel deshini. But since you could have done it erev Yom Tov and it doesn't lose the taste, let's say salt, you should do it. You should do it with the shini. I spoke about it once here about people have these grinders. How's it called? These. Yeah, so you could add pepper, so you could add in, you have to do with the shini. Because, later learn about it. That's because you could have done it before Yom Tov, some hold that's a different reason. But you could add in, you're allowed to do it Yom Tov. It's not that. Fresh, that's make it in. But with later learn, some hold that the meaning was never to use a grinder Yom Tov. If you use that grinder, you lose a big grinder. Now, kol she'usar asoyse b'Yom Tov, usar loime nanochri la soysoi. In order to tell a goy, Shemira Nochri Shvus B'Yom Tov Koi B'Shabbos. You hear the boy say very clearly, you're not allowed to tell the goy. If you're not allowed to do, you're not allowed to tell the goy. So you can't tell the goy, go get me a lemon. No, there is. Show even Chalamoid I said before. So you can't tell a goy, get me a lemon. Get me a lemon. I don't know. Most. No, you have to, according to the Shulchan Aruch, later learn, even, you have to stop him. If you didn't stop him, you can't even use it, but later learn. If a guy bought you a fish, he caught a fish, but later learn some Mishnah, you can't even use the fish. Let's say your neighbor went fishing, and he says, here's a fish for you. So the Mishnah is a Mishnah, the guy bought a fish. If you learned Daf Yomi, he brought a fish, and he didn't want to eat it. Nobody says, anyway, it's a fish. You guys go fishing for you, not allowed to eat it. If you did it for himself, if you did it for himself, if you did it for other goyim, then you're allowed to use it. So that's why the fishing in downtown, even if it was called today, but make it, then you'll use it. It didn't make it for the Jewish people. Okay, now ein motzia masala behema b'Yom Tov. Now the Rav is bekatze here. It doesn't go. In Hilchas Shabbos, there's a big machlokes at Rishonim. If there's a lav mechamer on Yom Tov or not. You know what mechamer means? Your animal is not allowed to work on Shabbos. Everyone agrees that. You know that. You can't have your animal work. On Yom Tov is a machlokes at Rishonim if mechamer applies. Can I have my ox plow? When I moved here, there was a frum guy, very interesting, in my neighborhood. He had a dog, the Hamish Shul, but the dog would bring in the newspaper every day, every morning, Shabbos also. So he told me, my dog brings in the newspapers. I told him, there's no heter for that. He couldn't understand such a thing. Oh, my dog? Yeah, you tell your dog to bring a newspaper. There's no erev. She can tell the dog to bring a paper from outside. That's mechamer. Carrying is doing it for you. But we don't have any more. Cham means having your animal work for you. That's so Mamela, Machlokes Rishon Yom Tov applies. So the Shulchan Aruch Hilchos Shabbos says we're machmer. It's a sufik deraisa, but he is explaining something else totally. Now, ein matzian masar b'Yom Tov. Let's say I want to bring a box of Mishnayos. Okay, I'm allowed to carry it. I want to put it on my donkey to carry it. He says, "Any time she says behemtoy." this is not going to apply. Why should I want to bring a barrel of wine. I'm allowed to schlep the barrel of wine to bring it to shul. I want to drink Elchonon. So instead of me schlepping, if I could bring it, my animal could also bring it for me. Chazal said not to do it. This is, we have this uvda dechol concept. Remember we speak about Chazal, certain things that they didn't want you to do, it looks extremely weekday. Uvda dechol. It says, Chazal didn't want you to use a Mishtamish Balchaim because they used to might take a stick from a branch and chase the animals. So for two reasons, Chazal didn't want you to do it. So Yom Tov, no surprise. Hashem shuse Mishtamish Balchaim mechiber lekarka k'mishavim izbar use b'Yom Tov. So you cannot use a Balchaim Yom Tov Mishtamish Balchaim.
You can do that anyway if you ride it. If you ride the horse, you have the same.
You're not allowed to ride a horse in Yom Tov either, right?
How about a guard dog?
God, what does he do? It just guards. Yeah, but he doesn't do anything.
Work if somebody tries to get in there.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything. Yeah.
Doesn't what?
But it doesn't do work. It doesn't do a malacha. Just because he chases people away, it doesn't. V'chein kvar ba'anim hilchas Shabbos den issa mikzeh b'Shabbos eile mikzeh machmas. Now let me give an introduction what he says over here. It's a long, long piece. So let me see what he's saying over here. Shabbos, we know this mikzeh, but not all mikzehs also. We have really generally three mikzehs: chsor and kiss. Chsor and kiss is a something where your iPhone is a chsor and kiss, your smartphone. And another thing is chsor and kiss. What was the other thing? I just want to say, because I gave a feher for the smicha boys and they didn't know this question. I asked them, what happens if you have an antique and the break font? Many people have an antique. I have a guy, my neighbor has a becher, a kos, probably a few hundred years old. He told me it's worth $7,000. He told me some of them already more. So is it muktzah or not? And they'll say, yeah, chsor and kiss. No. Chsor and kiss is, the Shulchan Aruch is a famous rab that explains only if there's a malacha involved. If I have a very expensive painting, a very expensive object, a decorative object, a cost that's so old, even though I don't want you to touch it, it's not muktzah. If I have something that is a cell phone, which in order to use a cell phone, you got to make a malacha, and it's expensive, that's called chsor and kiss. If you have expensive pen, a real expensive pen you got, gold pen or something, so that would be chsor and kiss, because it's an expensive item. But if it's not, just because it's a very, very expensive item, it's a manachtalet, it's not a problem. So anyway, so the Yom Tov, Shabbos is muktzah. Now, there are certain muktzahs that Shabbos is not also. Let's say you have a storage, you're selling clothing. Anyone in this neighborhood sells clothing? My neighborhood, a woman who sells clothing in her home. So let's say clothing. Me'ikaradin, it's not muktzah Shabbos. Only Yom Tov is muktzah. Let's say a lady comes, he says, can I try on, or you decide for yourself, I want to wear that shirt, I want to wear that blouse. Because Shabbos is not muktzah. There's a big machlokes, Yom Tov, in the Gemara, it's a machlokes. If Yom Tov, they were more machar muktzah. One of them says the Chazal were more machar by Yom Tov, because since Yom Tov, you're allowed to do many things, people come mezalzel on Yom Tov. One Shitta says, no, Yom Tov is even to Shabbos. So the Rav is explaining these two shittas. He repeats now the whole thing of miktzah. So the main miktzah is something that's bekeli shmachta listen chsor and kiss. They have a miktzah of doche beyadayin. Doche beyadayin means I took food up to the roof to dry. And the Gemara calls groigres it's smikin. Now normally you took it up to dry. There's no way you could eat it till it's finished drying. So till it's not full to the dry, even though maybe you could eat it b'doichik, it's the lasa. It's called muktzah. That Shabbos Yom Tov even. The question is, things that works on Hesach Al you put away these chickens to have eggs. So you know why it's muktzah? Because I decided before Yom Tov, these are my egg-laying chickens. So I come Yom Tov now, you know what, I need a chicken, I'm going to use that. That's muktzah. Shabbos, if it would have been, so it wouldn't be muktzah. Shabbos.
The eggs aren't muktzah, the chicken itself.
The egg is also muktzah. It's a separate. That's the beginning. But the chicken is muktzah because I designated the chicken not to eat. If I have a cow, I designate it to milk. Now Yom Tov, I decide I want to shecht it. You can't shecht it. It's muktzah. According to the opinion, the whole muktzah is also be Yom Tov. Or I have a bull that was put away to plow, and now you change your mind. You want to use the bull to shecht. You can't shecht it. If you hold muktzah Yom Tov. If I don't hold muktzah Yom Tov, all these things doesn't apply. You follow? All right, let's stop over here.